society and your communist government. We hate you all, and we are ready for war. We will always speak up and expose the corruption, the authoritarianism, the tyranny, and the hate. Truth dispels lies, as light dispels darkness. You are listening to Covert Radio.
Welcome back to Covert Radio. Hopefully you've listened to part 1 and part 2. This is part 3. Biden will not finish out his term due to a false flag. Has it been planned all along? President Kamala Harris? What are you talking about? You know, I tried something new this time. I figured I'd break up a longer show into a couple different parts. It just kind of worked out that way, but I think it was a little bit of a mistake because it's like 2 or 3 hours later. You know, just I'm so busy, things come up. I gotta leave. I gotta do this and this and that, and you know, I really do like I lose my train of thought. You know, that's the problem with Covert Radio. And I'll tell you, maybe it's not a problem. I mean, it's not a problem for me because if I was finding something to listen to, I would listen to me. Honest to God, if I long for podcasts like this. I want to be informed and, you know, learn and have something to listen to. I hate scrolling through videos. I hate trying to find something interesting that's not propaganda or something that's, you know, semi-remedial that, you know, has been covered 150,000 times. I long for it. If I found me, I'd be so happy. And that's really why I do this. And that's why I prefer to record, you know, longer shows, because I like that. I would prefer that. Not only that, every intention I have is to bring you guys 8 to 10 minutes of information. And while I'm thinking about, like, a thought will pop into my head while I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, geez, you know, I do remember this, and that. So to lay the groundwork before I get to that, I'll tell them about this or remind them of that. And, you know, because again, that's something that maybe I would want. I think that, you know, lay the foundation of where you're going, Mr. Covert Radio, lay the foundation. And by the time it's all said and done, one 8 to 10 minute idea is an hour-long conversation. But every one of the Covert Radio broadcasts, every one of them, you can learn something. And I'm not talking, you know, remedial things. Like, for example, this part 3 and, you know, the reason that even spun, you know, this show to begin with was thinking about the Praetorian Guard in Roman times and how the deep state, the swamp, you know, you think of Biden, there's no way he's in control. There's no way he's in power. He can barely talk. And I thought back through history and how, you know, just the controllers have never really got out of power. And just really how, you know, I think to myself, there's no way these people are this stupid. This is all by design. The crumbling America under communism is symbolic of Biden, who is crumbling. You hear you hear hot topic words such as the old belief system, the old way, before the Great Reset or the Great Reset, as if our Constitution, our belief structures, our laws, the monetary system, capitalism, it's all that's all got to change. Of course they want it to change. Absolutely. And at this point, it would be nice to have a fair system. But this is all symbolic. It's all symbolic. Biden is a joke because they want people to believe America is a joke. They showcase violence constantly because they want people to believe we're an unhinged, violent country who deserves authoritarianism, who deserves to be disarmed, who deserves to be imprisoned. It's all optics. It's all optics. He is just a puppet. He's one of the worst puppets I've ever seen in my life. Which again reminded me of the Praetorian Guard. Biden will not finish out his term, and it's probably going to be due to a false flag. And the reason they're going to do that is so they can, it started with the insurgency. It started with that. And they're going to end it. They're going to end it with political prisoners and domestic terrorists. That's what all of this has been leading up to. They're demonizing an entire belief system. They're demonizing a political party. If you're white, if you're black, if you're a Republican, if you're a nationalist, you're a terrorist, racist. And they're going to make sure that if in the event of false flags, they're going to continue to demonize the terrorist, racist. See, we told you. See, we told you. We told you they're domestic terrorists. Look, they tried to overthrow a free and fair election. Right. Well, you can't talk about that though. Remember, part of the communist YouTube's new think doctrine. You cannot say that there's any discrepancies in the election whatsoever. I hope you listened to part 1, part 2. These are all building ground blocks for what I'm about to show you guys. By the end of this video, you're going to see really truly just how plausible the title is. Hopefully you listened to the last one, part 2 of this, because we went over gematria and spells and symbolism and how this all works, how it all fits together. These people plan in decades and decades, not days and weeks, in decades. And gematria is it's a language. It's cryptographic. It's a form of like words and letters and numbers. And Kabbalists can use gematria and have used gematria for hidden meanings and to hide certain messages. So, and that's something too Covert Radio has talked about, over the last couple years. But by the way, please subscribe to my Rumble account. There's videos on here that's never going to be uploaded to YouTube. That's on the screen right now. The link is going to be in the description. Please subscribe to the Covert Radio Twitter. I'm going to start utilizing Twitter a lot more than I ever have. I think total since 2016, I've made 4 tweets in like 5 or 6 years. So yeah, I'm going to really start using those. We went over the kite, hit, steal, plane, must. We went over this chant, and, you see the young kids here, they keep bowing to Bush, because the teacher keeps telling them, get it on the floor, put it on, like 2 times they bow. They're bowing to Bush here in this video. I'll link this so you can watch it. Also went over iPet Goat here, iPet Goat 2. Just if you ever are interested in iPet Go 2 and the symbolism, again, the optics and the symbolism in this, it's unbelievable. I talked about right towards a couple times actually, but like right towards the end here, let me see if this will load. You see right back here, this is Notre Dame. This was conceptualized in like 2011, 2012, iPad Goat 2. Here's Notre Dame, and it shows Notre Dame crumbling and being destroyed. Well, that happened in April of 2019. So, war with Russia, war with China is all in this video. Please find a good, a highly rated breakdown of iPad Go 2. But I want to go over this article real quick. Let's see here. This is the Wall Street Journal. This is by Jeffrey Scott Shapiro. And, he's just not some Joe Blow. Mr. Shapiro served as an assistant attorney general for the District of Columbia from 2007 to 2009. And he was a senior advisor to the U.S. Agency for Global Media from 2017 to 2021. But he wrote an article that said, "Stop calling January 6th an insurrection." That's a legal term that denotes much more than a sporadically violent riot or disturbance. But if you guys remember, if you've listened to Covert Radio, since day one that they start calling that an insurgency, I said they're setting this up. They're using these terms that aren't real, but they're creating a terror base. Because, I even told a buddy of mine, he's done a couple podcasts with me. He wears this real nice Trump shirt one time. I said, dude, years from now, a couple years from now, a year or two, all that's going to be is a target. You're going to be a racist, white supremacist terrorist wearing that shirt. That's what they've done. That's the optics. I'm not saying that's true by no means. What I'm telling you is if they can continue to control people's perception by silencing reality, then that's what people are going to start believing. I already know people that believe that. So it is working. It is working. And the more they silence voices like mine, the less and less this message is being heard. But you can read this article in the Wall Street Journal. I'll link it. I just want to go over a couple things. Mr. Shapiro said these are important criminal charges that shouldn't go unaddressed. And what he's talking about is, I guess loitering or, entering a restricted building and, violating a couple ordinances, commit an offense against the United States, I guess would be one of the bigger charges. Civil disorder, disorderly conduct, like I said, entering and remaining in a restricted building or grounds, destruction of government property. Absolutely. These are all real charges that should be brought against these people. However, insurrection is not. And not one of these people are being charged with insurrection. Do you know that? Not one of these so-called terrorists are being charged with insurrection. Here he says these are important criminal charges that shouldn't go unaddressed. But of the hundreds of capital breach cases listed at the Justice Department, at the Justice Department's prosecution page, not one defendant is charged with insurrection under 18 U.S.C. 2383. That's because insurrection is a legal term with specific elements. No prosecutor would dare mislabel negligent homicide or manslaughter a murder because they are totally distinct crimes. The media has no legal or moral basis to do otherwise, which is 100% true. The media can say, this is proven every day, especially by Project Veritas. This is proven every day. They can say and do whatever they want, whether it's true, whether it's not. They can do whatever they want. There's no legal or moral basis for them to be honest. So they can every day talk about January 7th, the insurgency, there was bombs and pipe bombs and nuclear suitcase weapons going off everywhere. None of which is true, but they can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. Here he says a real insurrection would have required the armed forces to quell an armed resistance. Again, I've said this, just like that day, there was no people standing with guns and networks and this and that and bombs. I mean, if there was a real insurrection, don't you think it would be way more organized and there would be a complete bloodbath? See, this is why it's failing, and this is why we're going to war, or we're going to have a new president very soon, because they've lost the narrative. They've lost control, and they cannot put a lid on truth anymore. They cannot put a lid on it. It's all out in the open. People don't trust the media. People don't trust the government. People don't trust the doctors. People don't trust anything. And they've done it to themselves. They've done it to themselves. But a real insurrection would have the army and the Navy or whoever come in to disarm and stop the armed resistance. Actual insurrections, apart from the Civil War, include Shays' Rebellion in 1787, in which thousands of insurrectionists tried to seize weapons from a Massachusetts armory after months of planning to overthrow the new revolutionary government. And the Whiskey Rebellion in 1794, in which 500 armed men attacked the home of U.S. tax inspector in western Pennsylvania. Both events required President Washington to quell the insurrectionists with thousands of armed troops who killed several of the resistors. Now, there was no violence other than a civilian being killed by the Capitol Police. There was no gunshots. There was nothing like that. Not one, I've seen not one weapon during the insurrection. So again, people aren't stupid. They know this is a snow job. This is a snow job. But you see what happened. Whether it's reality or not, they're just going to say, oh, it's an insurrection. Let's surround the White House with barbed wire and the National Guard, the insurrection, da-da-da-da-da. It's like saying, my dog ran away. Can you help me look for him? But you don't have a dog. You don't have a dog. They did the same thing. There was an insurrection, so now we have to surround the entire Capitol with barbed wire fences and concrete barriers, and it's ridiculous. Those who violated the law inside the U.S. Capitol should be prosecuted and, if convicted, sentenced accordingly. But dramatizing a riot as an organized, racist, or armed insurrection is false reporting and dangerous political gaslighting. We've been lied to and gaslit so much, I don't know if a lot of people can even tell the difference anymore. Thank God for podcasts and shows like Covert Radio. I'll always point it out, always. The misuse of words, especially involving criminal accusations, can easily result in overreaching enforcement of the law and a chilling effect on free speech, all of which have already happened. And in this case, endanger the very system the rioters' accusers purport to protect. See what I mean? It's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. Mr. Shapiro served again as an assistant attorney general for the District of Columbia from 2007 to 2009. He was a senior advisor of the U.S. Agency for Global Media, 2017-2021. But I'll link this article if you guys want to take a read there. But again, Biden will not finish out his term due to a potential false flag. This is the groundwork. This is the groundwork right here. These are the ones they're going to blame. Whatever's going to happen, these are the ones they're going to blame it on right here. The insurrectionists, the terrorists, the domestic terrorists, whatever you want to call them. Whatever you want to call them. Again, which brings me to this. How much longer are they going to let him go on? That is the question. How much longer are they going to let him go on? Well, the answer to that is until he fouls up so bad it's unfixable. No matter how much he runs from the media, no matter how much he dodges questions, no matter how much he runs from reality, no matter how many times he falls asleep, no matter how many times he mumbles, bumbles, stumbles, and falls, no matter how many times he walks around like a lost puppy, no matter how many times he says, I'm in trouble. Oh my God, I'm in trouble now. I better not say that. I don't know if I can I do this? Can I do, like, who are you answering to? The deep state. That's who he's answering to. And this political system has not changed for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not a couple thousand years. The Praetorian Guard, back in Roman times, I talk about the Romans a lot. I talk about World War II a lot. Fascinated with both of them. Fascinated with both. But the Praetorian Guard was basically like today's, elite Secret Service. Like, these people would be above Secret Service, maybe, Green Beret-ish, Navy SEAL. It'd be a mix of like a Navy SEAL, a Green Beret, a Secret Service agent, all answering to the deep state, okay? The Praetorian Guard didn't change that much. Just like today, presidents change supposedly or could change every 4 years. The deep state has been the same for the last 200 years. They don't change, just a new puppet. And I know you guys know this, but the Praetorian Guard was a unit of the Imperial Roman Army, and they were bodyguards. They were intelligence, like the FBI, they were like the CIA. They protected the Roman emperors. They were the closest people to the emperor. And they'd also escort different senators and, high-ranking political people. They were the bodyguards. They were the intelligence gatherers. They were the protectors of the senior officers, the Senate, and the Emperor, Caesar. So here's how it worked. And again, it's just like the deep state today. And this is why I'm asking you, how long are they going to wait till he messes up so bad that they can't explain it away or ignore the media any longer? We're getting to the point, and that's why I know we're close to President Harris. For centuries, the Praetorian Guard, again, were the closest to the Roman emperor. They were in among the palace, in the Senate, everywhere. They were everywhere. They were the eyes and the ears. They had the intelligence. They had their fingertips on everything, just like the NSA of today, just like the FBI, the CIA. That's who the Praetorian Guard were. And they had extreme influence upon the politics of Rome and the politicians. They could overthrow an emperor at any time they chose to, and they could proclaim his successor as the new Caesar. And they did. They did. And they all knew it. Every Caesar knew this. Every senator knew this. This is a power, until it was broken up decades later. But this is a power that it was almost like they willingly gave the Praetorians. They had the most power, I guess you could say. But here's what happened. I know you guys have heard of Caligula. In 41 AD, back again, Roman times, and, fresh from Greek and Egypt, there was still, living gods and the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 50th, whatever wonder of the world, 7th, 6th, 5, 4, the Roman Colosseum. These are all godlike functions and I guess you could say accomplishments to average low IQ peasants. So Caligula he told the Senate that he was going to leave Rome permanently. He was going to move to Alexandria in Egypt. And his whole goal behind this is he wanted to be worshipped as a living god. In another sense, you could say Caligula was losing his mind. So here's the question. He is the emperor of Rome. Let me align that to today. He's the president of the most powerful nation on the planet. Caligula was the emperor of Rome, the most powerful government and nation on the planet at that time that they knew of. See what's happening here? He openly told the Senate he's going to leave Rome permanently, where he lived. It's almost like it's almost like a business owner walking out of his own business but leaving the doors wide open. It's not a good look for anybody involved. Not a good look. The palace would have been empty. Caligula was leaving. And his goal was to go to Alexandria in Egypt, and he wanted to be worshipped as a living god. Look what I've done. Look what I've created. Look at the people, the legions I command, the respect that I have. He wanted to be worshipped, so he was losing his mind. Again, we have somebody who's supposed to be the most powerful person in the world who can barely put a sentence together. So here's what the Praetorians figured out. Again, you could also call them a think tank. They were similar, I guess. Also, they had units that were similar to the Tavistock Institute and the university think tanks. So the prospect of Rome losing its emperor and going off to Egypt to want to be worshipped as a living god, the thought of this, the prospect of this, was really the final straw. They said we can't let it happen. We cannot let it happen. We can't. God only knows what he's going to do next. God only knows what Caligula is going to say next. God only knows what Biden's going to do next. God only knows what Biden's going to say next. You understand what's happening here? The Senate, the Praetorian Guard, felt in the public's eyes, they felt responsible that they had to stop this and do something about it. Because not only was he losing his mind, he was also responsible for tons of oppression and tons of debauchery. He was a failed Roman emperor in the eyes now of the Senate and the Praetorians. He was useless. His job is over. We have somebody new that's going to step right in and they're going to do what we want them to do and what's expected. So the Praetorians got together with some members of the Senate and they killed him. They killed him. They quickly came together. They put a plan together. They set him up and they killed him. Caligula was killed by his own Praetorian guards, the people that were supposed to be the closest to him, the people that he was supposed to trust the most. They murdered him. They murdered a sitting emperor of Rome, which was Caligula. They replaced him immediately. Again, they were afraid of what he was doing and what he was saying. I'm going to show you a couple things. It's going to be a few minutes. This is all just within the last week or so.
disagreeing with the statement, Joe Biden is mentally fit. Not even a majority of Democrats who responded strongly affirmed that statement.
Well, I'll let you all make the judgment whether they're correct.
Well, so the question I have for you, sir, if you'd let me finish, is why do you suppose such large segments of the American electorate have come to harbor such profound concerns about your cognitive fitness? Thank you.
I have no idea.
He has no idea. He's being clowned directly to his face. That was a week or so ago. Here's another clip. This was a few days ago.
In addition to your child, it strips you of your dignity, damn it. Can you imagine looking at your child and you know what they need and not be able to do it? They're really showing themselves to do really well. Come on, man.
Just completely. Have you guys ever been around somebody that's going senile or is in the end stage of like massive liver disease, who have unbelievable fits of rage that have no bearing on the circumstances around it? That's what we just witnessed right there. And he's been doing that a lot more. He's been having these fits of rage that are just they're baffling. There's no need for them. This is about a week or so ago.
Chocolate chip.
Oh, yeah. What is your message to Republicans who are prepared to block the January 6th commission?
Decisions and reach agreements which will affect the lives of generations to come. You are in a position of extraordinary power. You can change forever.
North Carolina announced its $100 incentive, its $100 incentive today. Places that have offered the $100, that'd be really good. I'd go back and get vaccinated 3 times. But all kidding aside, offered the $100 to get vaccination, have seen an uptick of 25% in daily vaccination rates. She's also dedicated to getting her customers and employees vaccinated, that when they leave the saloon, receptionist, the salon, they may be going to a saloon, I don't know. I caught part of President Putin's press conference, and he talked about the need for us to be able to have some kind of modus operandi where we dealt with making sure the Arctic was, in fact, a free zone.
Is the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not. Because you have the Afghan troops have 300,000 well-equipped as any army in the world, and an air force against something like 75,000 Taliban. It is not inevitable. Do I trust the Taliban? No. But I trust the capacity of the Afghan military, who is better trained, better equipped, and more competent in terms of conducting war. I stand squarely behind my decision. After 20 years, I've learned the hard way that there was never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces. So-called Great Recession. The president asked me to be in charge of managing that piece, then President Trump. Excuse me, Freudian slip. That was the last president. He caused, anyway, that was President Obama when I was vice president. I know you're a little younger than I am, but, I've adopted the attitude of the great Negro at the time pitcher in the Negro Leagues, went on to become a great pitcher in the pro.
Let Trump say one of the great Negroes. Let Trump say that. And there would be buildings burning to the ground within 12 hours, right? Nobody blinks an eye at this clown. Nobody blinks an eye at him, and the media has nothing to say.
He went on to become a great pitcher in the pros, into the Major League Baseball after Jackie Robinson. His name was Satchel Paige. Russia will be held accountable if it invades, and it depends on what it does. It's one thing if it's a minor incursion and then we end up having a fight about what to do and not do, etc. But if they actually do what they're capable of doing with the force amassed on the border, it is going to be a disaster for Russia if they further invade Ukraine, and that our allies and partners are ready to impose severe cost and significant harm on.
Yeah, they need this war. But you guys get it. You get it. I'm not going to go through all this. Here is one more. It's only a couple minutes long, but this is as early as 5, 6, 7 days ago.
But first, the U.S. has learned.
Can I make a suggestion to you guys? If you want actual news about America, go to Sky News. They're based in Australia, but somehow they have the actual unbiased news. I mean, maybe they're a little biased, but they're more biased against all the lies that American media says. Go to Sky News and you will get a real dose of what's going on.
The hard way that elections have consequences. The country is right now in the grips of a border crisis with more than 200,000 illegal immigrants encountered crossing the southern border. That's just in a month. And that's just the ones they encounter. Inflation has soared to levels not seen for 40 years.
200,000 immigrants just in 1 month. 200,000 illegal immigrants in just 1 month, most of which are young military-age men. There's also a report, maybe I'll try to find it and link it in the description. Did you see the undercover middle-of-the-night flights landing at random airports, bringing in military-age men, all illegal immigrants?
There are record high COVID numbers, despite the fact Joe Biden was elected on a platform of shutting down the virus. That's what he promised to do. And there are growing social problems, including crime soaring, particularly in Democrat strongholds. And through it all, we have a president that is clearly not all there. The cognitive decline is obvious and, frankly, a little sad. Here he is asked a simple question about schools reopening. See if you can understand his answer.
Oh, I think it could be, but I hope in God that look, maybe I'm kidding myself, but as time goes on, the voter who is just trying to figure out, as I said, how to take care of their family, put 3 squares on the table, stay safe, be able to pay their mortgage or their rent, etc., is becoming much more informed on the
just it's so pathetic and sad. Just look. He has no idea what he's talking about. He's so lost. Look at the grip on his notes or whatever that is. Like, it just looks like a little old lady waiting to get in line at bingo. I'm just going to stand here and, I'm just going to hold on to my clutch. I'm just going to hold on, hat in hand. That's what that is. That's hat in hand right there. Shame. He's ashamed, and he should be.
The motives of some of the political players and some of the political parties.
The most basic of questions from hand-picked journalists, and he still can't articulate a simple message. Not only does he struggle to answer the simple questions, but he also has a habit of going off on odd, incoherent tangents.
I mean, the idea that the American public are trying to sift their way through what's real and what's fake And I don't think I've never seen a time when the political coverage,
You can see what I'm talking about there. Remember, Donald Trump once walked slowly down a steep ramp and the American media were immediately questioning whether he was in ill health and physically capable of performing the job. But when it comes to Biden, the bulk of the mainstream media pretend all is okay.
That's what communism is, guys. That's what communism is. Their reality all the time. And when you disagree with it, you're taken care of. And it's only going to get worse unless we stand up and stop it. Now, here's the video that I've been wanting to play for you guys. You've probably never seen this. We got about another 3, 1 or 2 minute clips here. And it's not even that. It's about 30 seconds. And then another one that's about 30 or 40 seconds. And then I'm going to play this video that's about 3 minutes long. Stick with me. This is the video in all 3 parts I've been wanting to show you coming up right after these 2 clips right here. And again, you may already have seen all this stuff. I don't know. This is for people who are unaware that this is happening.
though I'm from Delaware, I've got to put Delaware State up there. The president of Delaware State used to work for me, went and got his doctorate and said, this is not the good job. I'm going to be president of the university. But all kidding aside, of course, President Harris is a proud Howard alum.
President Harris was a proud Howard alum.
Proud Howard alum. All kidding aside, of course, President Harris is a proud Howard alum. She might have something to say about Delaware State. And to my family and friends.
And Kamala Harris is a Howard alumni. So he clearly is stating President Harris. He's called President Trump, President Obama, and President Harris. But he's been doing this President Harris thing a lot more. Here's another example of that.
Last week, President Harris and I stood in the United States Capitol to observe one of those before and after moments in American history.
Okay, this is now getting weird. It is the Hot Topic Buzz this morning. You just heard President Biden once again referring to the vice president as President Harris.
Yeah, so he's been doing this, but I want to show you guys something here, okay? You ready for this? Let's minimize all this stuff here and take a look at this here. Now, everything we've gone over in the last two videos prior to this is building up to this video here, and it's only a couple minutes long. One thing that I wanted to quickly show you guys here is gematria. And because of the Biden clip, or because of the Bush clip and iPet goat and things like that, I wanted to calculate the gematria value of 911. And if you go to Jewish gematria, 911 is equal to microchipped population. 911. Okay. Another gematria value in Jewish. This is going to mean something after you see this video. 1989. 1989. Jewish gematria. 1989. The prophecy will fulfill. Okay. One more. 1018. 1018. Again, Jewish gematria. Can I predict the future? 1018. Can I predict the future? 1989. The prophecy will fulfill. And 9/11, which started the Patriot Act and our downward slide into communistic enslavement. Microchipped population. Okay, so I want you to take a look at this video. This is from 1989 on October the 18th. Here we go.
On October 18, 1989, in West Branch, Iowa, Gerald Ford, the 38th President of the United States, shared history with students from across Iowa. The visit was part of a conference on the role of former presidents in American society, sponsored by the Herbert Hoover Library and Museum and the Gerald Ford Library and Museum. Here's how these students took advantage of a rare learning opportunity.
Thank you very, very much. It's a very high honor and a very great privilege for me to come to West Branch and to participate in this conference, which is being held here at the Hoover facilities.
Mr. Ford, what advice would you give a young lady wanting to become President of the United States?
Well, I hope we do have a young lady at some point become President of the United States. I can tell you how I think it will happen, because it won't happen in the normal course of events. Either the Republican or Democrat political party will nominate a man for president and a woman for vice president. And the woman and man will win. So you'll end up with a president, a male, and a vice president, a female. And in that term of office of the president will die. And the woman will become president under the law or constitution. And once that barrier is broken, from then on, men better be careful, because they'll have a hard time ever even getting a nomination in the future. But that's the way it's going to happen, and I think it'll probably come sometime in the next 4 or 8 years.
There you go. There you go. We're living in historic times. This was 1989. This is a drop in the hat for the length of time these people have been planning this. Biden will not finish out his term, and they're going to base it on a false flag. They're going to kill two birds with one stone. They're going to demonize, put the final nail in the coffin for the patriots, the nationalists, the gun owners, and the people who want to make America a free democracy, a free republic again, to build the walls, to stop the invasion of our country, to stop the outsourcing of our jobs, to truly make this a great place for our future generations, our children. We're the last ones standing in the way. We're the last ones standing in the way of the Communist Manifesto. They're going to take him out because they can't trust anything he's going to say or do at this point. He's way outlived his usefulness. He smashed through 20, 30 executive orders just in the last couple days, and he's done everything he could do. Now he has failed the last 2 or 3 objectives because nobody trusts him. He's untrustworthy. He's feeble. He's crazy. He's senile, whatever labels you want to put on him. It's over. It's over. He is not useful to them anymore. Kamala Harris will be grateful. She'll be grateful, and she will continue to do whatever she is told to do. Biden will not finish out his term due to a false flag, and it's been planned all along. It's been planned all along. Gerald Ford just predicted it. The Communist Manifesto, it's larger than any of us. It's larger than Biden. It's larger than Kamala Harris. It's larger than America or Americans. It's soulless, and it's death, and it's satanic. Communism is the death of the soul. It is the organization of total conformity. It's the organization of tyranny. And its sole commitment is to make tyranny universal. One world order, one world government. The new reset. consolidation. You will lose your sovereignty. There is no constitution. There is no gun ownership. There is no free speech. There is the party, and there is the medical tyranny that they are shoving into us every single day. It's a religion. Communism is a religion. It's inspired, directed, and motivated by the devil himself. And he's declared war against Almighty God. I'm Covert Radio. Please share this these last couple videos. Copy them, do whatever you got to do. Get the word out there. Please subscribe to my Rumble. And because, again, there's going to be content there that you're not going to see anywhere else if you enjoy this type of media, okay? If you want to become a Patreon to support this type of media, that'd be great. But make sure you subscribe to my Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to Rumble. And I'm going to leave a few other links in the description as well for other Covert Radio channels. You guys take care. Have a good day.